Amazon is a company that everyone knows as being the biggest online retailer in the world. However, not many people actually are aware that they are also gradually working towards running the entire internet with the powerhouse that is AWS. So AWS is an absolute diamond that will allow Amazon to dominate the ever-growing cloud computing sector and will lead to Amazon stock performing extremely well in the coming years, in my opinion. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking a closer look at AWS and what it is, the growth of the entire cloud computing sector in general, as well as why I believe that AWS will continue to dominate the cloud computing sector and contribute towards Amazon stock performing very well in the coming years. Be sure to leave a like if you do enjoy the video today, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's first briefly touch on what AWS is. So Amazon Web Services, commonly abbreviated to simply AWS, is Amazon's public cloud subsidiary that provides on-demand cloud computing platforms and APIs to companies and governments on a pay-as-you-go basis. So AWS was launched in 2006 and over time has emerged as the dominant cloud services provider, currently being the market leader with roughly 33% of the total market share. So everything that we do online does require data, whether this is for social media, shopping, or simply browsing the internet. And all of this data does need to be processed and stored somewhere in the back end by the website host. Now, to do this, the company responsible for this data must either build their own server infrastructure to process this data, or alternatively, they can use a third-party cloud service such as AWS. So AWS does offer a mixture of services which include infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, as well as packaged software as a service too. And they do operate from a range of global data centers, and they have infrastructure that is set up all over the world, allowing them to offer services to 245 different countries as of right now. So many of the world's most well-known companies do actually use AWS in some way. And some of these big companies that AWS do have as customers does include Adobe, Airbnb, BMW, NASA, Netflix, Pfizer, Samsung, Disney, and Spotify, just to name a handful there. So now let's move on to the growth of the cloud computing sector as a whole. So the global cloud computing market size is expected to grow from $445.3 billion in 2021 to $947.3 billion in 2026, which is a compound annual growth rate of 16.3%. Now, the retail and consumer goods vertical is expected to grow at the highest rate during this period, and the cloud infrastructure services revenue specifically reached $178 billion in 2021, which was a 37% increase against 2020. So Jeff Bezos himself has compared cloud computing services like AWS to the utility companies in the 1900s. So back then, a factory that needed electricity would build its own power plant, but once factories were able to actually buy electricity from a public utility company, it became a lot more cost efficient to essentially buy electricity from a third party who will optimize for that specific service. And this is what Jeff Bezos essentially believes that cloud computing is becoming, a fully optimized and efficient way for companies to actually get their computing services rather than having inbuilt servers. So rather than having to build your own in-house server and data center that is large enough to handle peak demand times, companies can save a lot of money through outsourcing this to a third-party cloud provider, meaning that they can actually use their resources on demand as and when they need them. So this is often a much better approach compared to having to actually dedicate money and time to building their own server rooms and associated IT expertise that would need to come with this in order to make the server actually work properly. And in terms of the total addressable market for cloud computing, it really is massive, and it basically does cover every single company that operates on the internet. So almost all businesses operate on the internet nowadays, and certainly all of the biggest companies do. And realistically, cloud computing could touch every single corner of the internet, offering massive potential for the companies that can dominate the space in the coming years. So now I want to look at why AWS will continue to dominate in the cloud computing space. So first of all, AWS is the market leader right now and have been delivering cloud services for longer than any other company, which is over 16 years now. So they do have a vast range of experience and operational expertise compared to the other cloud providers out there. So AWS is a profit machine for Amazon, and it is growing consistently every year in both revenue and operating profit. Now, revenue has increased rapidly over the years, and in 2021 it reached $62.2 billion, which was a 37.1% increase on the $45.4 billion that they achieved in 2020. And to come with this, AWS does have an operating margin of about 35%, so it really is a cash cow for Amazon. Now, AWS does have significantly more services and more features within those services compared to the other cloud providers, and this ranges from infrastructure technologies like compute, storage and databases to emerging technologies like machine learning, AI, data leaks and also analytics. So in total, the total cloud services that Amazon do offer does reach 227, which is a very vast range of different services. Now, AWS is the most secure cloud computing environment that is available today, and the core infrastructure is built to satisfy the security requirements of the military, global banks, and other high sensitivity organizations. So there is a lot of trust that these important and data sensitive organizations do put in AWS, which is a good sign. Now, AWS is one of the most innovative cloud platforms out there, and they are continually accelerating their pace of innovation to invent entirely new technologies that customers can actually use to transform their business, and they can benefit from this. So for example, in 2014, AWS did pioneer the serverless computing space, which was launched as AWS Lambda, and then they also did build SageMaker, which is a fully managed machine learning service that empowers everyday developers and scientists to use machine learning without having to have any prior machine learning experience. So the cloud could well become one of the biggest transformational technologies in history, alongside electricity, computers and the internet itself. And economies of scale, network effects and also lock-ins do mean that we're unlikely to see any more market entrants that were able to take a meaningful share from the current operators that are dominating right now. And then because of this, the market is likely to remain dominated by just a handful of companies, making it a oligopoly market. And this potentially could allow those companies to enjoy oligopoly margins, which would benefit obviously Amazon quite well. So if Amazon, along with the other major players like Microsoft and Google, can enjoy significant market share in this sector that does have a large total addressable market spanning across every aspect of the internet, while also enjoying oligopoly margins, then the market value of these companies could increase drastically from where they are right now, and that's why I am very bullish on Amazon stock in general. And also, with the environment and sustainability becoming a bigger concern every year, companies are doing all that they can to reduce their negative impact on the environment. And by using AWS, this does mean that they are buying into the environmental economies of scale that come with this. Now, according to AWS, organizations do use 77% fewer servers, 84% less power, and they do also run on a renewable electricity supply that is 28% cleaner compared to others. And then finally, AWS does also have a long-term commitment to running on 100% renewable energy. So this is all very positive in terms of the environment. So this could be a big pull factor for companies to actually go with AWS compared to others. So that is all for today's video, guys. I am very bullish on Amazon stock because of AWS. I think AWS is going to continue to dominate the cloud computing space, and this space is only going to get bigger every year as more and more companies move over to the cloud. So yeah, overall very bullish on Amazon stock, but obviously this video is for purely entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is not financial advice, so please bear that in mind. But apart from that, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like. That does help out a lot. Also, drop me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are on AWS and Amazon stock as a whole. And also be sure to subscribe if you want to see more similar videos to this in the future, including more cloud computing videos. But apart from that, guys, thanks a lot for watching.